From fabric-covered fighters to nuclear bombers that have ruled the skies for over 70 years, this is the complete catalog of every Boeing military aircraft ever made. The PW-9 was Boeing's first dedicated fighter design and the aircraft that established the company as a serious military contractor. Featuring a welded steel fuselage and tapered wings, it offered superior structural strength compared to the wood and wire aircraft of World War I. It served as the foundation for U.S. Army pursuit squadrons in the 1920s. While primitive by modern standards, the PW-9 proved that Boeing could build robust, high-performance combat aircraft, setting the stage for the famous biplanes that followed. The FE-4B was a highly successful carrier-based fighter that served as the backbone of the U.S. Navy in the early 1930s. It was agile, reliable, and beloved by pilots for its responsive handling and strong airframe. As the last great biplane fighter of its era, it represented the peak of open cockpit aviation. Although it was eventually replaced by faster monoplanes, the F-4B remains a symbol of the golden age of naval aviation. The P-26 Peashooter was the first all-metal monoplane fighter produced for the U.S. Army Air Corps. It marked a major technological transition, introducing higher speeds and modern construction techniques to American pursuit squadrons. However, it retained an open cockpit and fixed landing gear, which quickly made it obsolete as enclosed retractable gear fighters appeared. Despite its short frontline service, the Peashooter remains iconic for its distinct shape and its role in bridging the gap between biplanes and modern fighters. The B-17 Flying Fortress is perhaps the most famous bomber of World War II, designed for high-altitude daylight precision bombing. It was legendary for its ability to absorb terrible battle damage and still return its crew home safely. Heavily armed with defensive machine guns, it carried the war to the heart of Europe. While it had a smaller payload than some later bombers, its durability and psychological impact on the enemy made it a legend of air power. The B-29 Superfortress was the most advanced bomber of World War II, featuring a pressurized cabin and remote-controlled defensive turrets. It was designed for the vast distances of the Pacific Theater, capable of flying higher and faster than most Japanese interceptors. It is best known for delivering the atomic bombs that ended the war. Complex and expensive to develop, the B-29 defined the transition from conventional bombing to the nuclear age. The B-47 Stratojet was a revolutionary aircraft that set the standard for all modern jet bombers and airliners. It introduced swept wings and podded engines mounted under the wings, a layout that is still used today. It was fast, capable of outrunning many early fighters, but its high landing speeds made it dangerous for inexperienced pilots. The B-47 never dropped a bomb in anger, but it provided the nuclear deterrent backbone for the United States during the early Cold War. The B-52 Stratofortress is the longest-serving combat aircraft in history, designed to carry nuclear weapons deep into the Soviet Union. It is massive, powerful, and capable of carrying an immense variety of munitions, from cruise missiles to gravity bombs. Although originally slated for retirement decades ago, its adaptable airframe has kept it relevant through Vietnam, the Gulf War, and modern conflicts. The Buff is expected to fly for a century, proving that sometimes raw size and simplicity beat advanced technology. The KC-135 Stratotanker was the first jet-powered aerial refueling tanker designed to keep up with the new generation of jet bombers and fighters. It revolutionized global power projection, allowing U.S. aircraft to reach any point on Earth without landing. Sharing a design lineage with the Boeing 707, it was robust and reliable. While its engines were originally smoky and loud, upgrades have kept the fleet operational for over 60 years, serving as the hidden lifeline of the U.S. Air Force. The E-3 Sentry is an airborne warning and control system, instantly recognizable by the massive rotating radar dome on its fuselage. It acts as a flying command post, managing air battles and detecting enemy aircraft from long ranges. Built on the 707 airframe, it provides look-down radar capabilities that ground stations cannot match. The Sentry remains the eyes of the sky for NATO and allied nations, essential for modern air warfare coordination. The E-4 Nightwatch is a militarized version of the Boeing 747 designed as a survivable mobile command post for nuclear war. It is hardened against electromagnetic pulses and equipped with advanced communications to direct forces even if ground centers are destroyed. Known as the Doomsday Plane, it is always on alert to transport the President or Secretary of Defense. It is a grim but necessary tool, ensuring the continuity of government in the worst possible scenarios. The C-32 is a military version of the Boeing 757, used primarily for transporting the Vice President and other high-ranking officials. It offers intercontinental range and the ability to operate from shorter runways than the larger presidential aircraft. While less famous than Air Force One, it serves as a critical VIP transport, often operating under the call sign Air Force Two. It blends airliner comfort with military communications and defensive systems. The C-40 Clipper is a military variant of the Boeing 737 Next Generation, used for Navy logistics and VIP transport. It replaced older transport aircraft, offering better fuel efficiency, range, and avionics. It is a workhorse aircraft, moving personnel and cargo between naval air stations worldwide. The C-40 demonstrates how proven commercial designs can be effectively adapted for routine military logistics. The V-22 Osprey was developed jointly by Bell and Boeing to combine the vertical performance of a helicopter with the speed of a turboprop airplane. Its tilt-rotor design allows it to land on ships or rough terrain and then transition to high-speed forward flight. Early development was plagued by accidents and controversy, but it has since matured into a unique capability for the Marines and Special Forces. The Osprey radically changed how troops are inserted into combat zones. The P-8 Poseidon is a long-range maritime patrol aircraft based on the Boeing 737-800. It was designed to hunt submarines and surface ships using advanced sensors, sonobuoys, and torpedoes. It replaced the aging propeller-driven P-3 Orion, bringing jet speed and modern reliability to the anti-submarine role. The P-8 excels at wide-area surveillance, serving as a critical asset in monitoring the world's oceans. The KC-46 Pegasus is a next-generation tanker based on the Boeing 767 airframe. It features advanced refueling booms, cockpit displays, and defensive systems designed to replace the aging KC-135 fleet. The program faced significant delays and technical challenges during development, particularly with its remote vision system. However, as it enters service, it offers enhanced cargo and medical evacuation capabilities along with its primary refueling mission. The X-37B is a reusable robotic spaceplane that operates in low Earth orbit. Launched by a rocket and landing like an airplane, it conducts classified experiments and tests technologies for long durations in space. While much of its mission profile remains secret, it represents Boeing's cutting-edge work in military spaceflight. It bridges the gap between traditional aviation and orbital operations, hinting at the future of aerospace warfare. The B-50 Superfortress was a significant post-war evolution of the famous B-29, designed to correct its predecessor's underpowered engines. It featured massive Pratt and Whitney Wasp major engines, a taller tail, and a lighter, stronger aluminum alloy structure. While it looked similar to the B-29, it was virtually a new aircraft capable of carrying heavier loads over longer distances. However, as a piston engine bomber in the dawning jet age, its frontline dominance was short-lived. Its most historic moment came when the Lucky Lady 2 used it to complete the first non-stop flight around the world, proving the viability of aerial refueling. The C-97 Stratofighter was a heavy military transport developed from the B-29 and B-50 components. It introduced a distinctive double-bubble fuselage design, giving it an immense upper deck for cargo and troops. It was a logistical workhorse capable of carrying tanks, trucks, or heavy equipment across oceans. Despite its utility, its piston engines required intensive maintenance, and it lacked the speed of the coming jet transports. It laid the groundwork for modern strategic airlift and spawned the luxury Stratocruiser airliner. The KC-97 Stratotanker was the dedicated aerial refueling variant of the Stratofreighter and a vital asset for the Strategic Air Command. Equipped with a flying boom, it gave American bombers the global reach necessary for nuclear deterrence during the early Cold War. However, it was a propeller-driven aircraft trying to refuel fast jets, often requiring the tanker to dive while the receiver flew slow just to make a connection. It was eventually replaced by the all-jet KC-135, but not before training a generation of boom operators and defining modern refueling tactics. The E-6 Mercury is a specialized airborne command post based on the Boeing 707 airframe, tasked with the TACAMO mission: take charge and move out. Its primary role is to maintain communications with the U.S. Navy's ballistic missile submarines using long trailing wire antennas. It is built to survive in a nuclear environment and ensure that launch orders can be delivered even if ground command centers are destroyed. While based on an aging airframe design, its electronics are constantly updated. The Mercury remains the critical, unbreaking link in the United States' nuclear triad. So that was the Boeing military family. In this video, I chose to focus only on aircraft that actually reached large-scale production. No prototypes, no paper projects, and no purely commercial designs without real military service. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.